What's up, everyone? It's David. Welcome back. Gem Mint MTG. So, wanted to do a video about the recent news regarding CGC and them changing their grading scale. Going to talk about that and then go through kind of just Magic in general, the graded card market, the state of things, what I've been doing. Just kind of shoot the SHIT for a while with you all. So, CGC finally did something about the, in my opinion, a number of issues that they've had with their grading as well as their label. And so they recently came out with this new grading scale and the process that people can do to resubmit their cards to get them reslabbed in this new label. So there's a lot to talk about with this. So let's just kind of break it down. It's kind of old news by now, but I kind of wanted to think about it and gather my thoughts, talk to people. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to be able to resubmit your cards and they'll be graded under this new grading scale. From what I understand, they're not regraded in terms of like looking at the card again. It's just whatever the card is, it will convert to this new scale. This new scale is going to have a new grade of 9.5 Mint Plus. There's going to be a Gem Mint 10, and then there's going to be the Pristine 10. And the idea behind this scale is that kind of like the industry standard is becoming that Gem Mint means it's a 10. So my thoughts on this are, like most things, who does it benefit? Who is it good for? Who's going to like it? Who's not going to like it? Because they don't do something like this if they don't think they're going to get more business, right? That's why companies make decisions like this. My thoughts on this are, I don't like the way that they are basically turning all, from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that basic 9.5s are now going to be Gem Mint 10s. And then you're going to have, a select few of those become a Pristine 10. There's no longer going to be the perfect 10 that they had before. That's now retired. And then 9 and below all stays the same. So you've got the 9.5 Mint Plus, Gem Mint 10, and Pristine 10. What I don't like about this is that, like I said, basically basic 9.5s are now going to be Gem Mint 10s, which to me kind of devalues the Gem Mint 10, name. In my opinion, a Gem Mint card should be a Gem Mint card, and I think most people, the vast majority, at least of Magic the Gathering collectors, and people who have experience with CGC and looking at their cards, most people would probably not qualify basic 9.5s from CGC as Gem Mint 10 cards. I feel like the label that they're using is not very good. It's very generous, and for someone like me, I'm not going to place the value of a 10. Like, to me, a 10 is sacred. It's like if your card is a 10, it's pretty much a perfect card. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of 10s that aren't perfect cards. So I don't like that. Also, one of the biggest things for me as a Magic collector, and I think probably a lot of you, is that they're not going to be doing subgrades anymore, which to me is just crazy. I think they said, the quote that I read, I don't remember the exact number, but they said something like, recently only 6% or 5% of our submissions have requested subgrades. I find that hard to believe. I feel like most of the CGC cards, at least for Magic that I see, have subgrades. Do a good portion of them not have subgrades? Yeah, sure. But do the vast, vast, vast majority, like 95%, not have subgrades? That I don't believe. Personally, I think they got rid of subgrades because they're sick of dealing with, kind of like the pickiness of people and people who kind of dissected the 9.5s, the quads, the quad pluses and plus pluses that they were giving out and saying, hey, not feeling too good about CGC's ability to grade on, on like a lot of these subgrades. So I don't think they did that just because of what they say 95% of the submissions didn't ask for subgrades. I think they did it for simplicity's sake. I think it's a lot easier to grade a card when you don't have to give it subgrades. Um, and that really sucks. Now so those are the negatives that I see with it. There's more maybe I'll get into, but that's kind of the biggest part of it is that you're gonna have all these tens running around that, in my opinion, aren't tens. You're gonna have cards with no subgrades. So when you're looking at a Gem Mint 10 CGC, that might have been a basic 9.5 a month ago, and I don't like that. And no subgrades. Um, what's good about that, or what's good about this situation, is I think that CGC, at least they did listen to their customer base and made changes. As much as I might not like all of the changes that they made, and I wasn't the biggest fan of CGC to begin with. Like I said, over the last couple of years, you've seen it on this channel. I've kind of warmed up to them, and I've started collecting more CGC cards. But this is not making me more likely to grade them. But you have to give them credit. They listened, they made changes, and that's worth something. Also, I think that this was a good opportunity for them to change that disastrous label. Um, I think everybody pretty much agreed, at least in the Magic community. I very rarely saw someone who was like, I like the labels. Most people were like, the labels suck, but their grading seems okay. Or their turnaround time was faster at a certain point. Comic book collectors, or people who have used them for other stuff kind of like the name. But everybody kind of knows that their label was god awful. So it's good that they upgraded their label. I think that you got to give them credit for that. They realized they made a mistake. They're going with this new label. It looks pretty sleek, but to me the fact that it has no subgrades, even as an option, like if you don't want to do it for all cards, maybe make that, just make it a premium charge, just like Beckett does. If people want it, they can get it. That's why I think that there's more to it other than this. Oh, not as many people wanted it. Like, so the people that do charge them more, and if they want it, they'll pay for it. Like, why? I think it's just how many cards can they grade without making it too complex. So I give them credit for changing the label. It looks better, but me as a Magic collector, knowing that these Gem Mint 10s are going to be pretty much mostly basic 9.5s, as the Sharks would say, I'm out. That's kind of my feeling on it. And then this Mint Plus 9.5 thing, like, what is that? What does that mean with, like, what do these mean without subgrades? That's what I don't get. It's like, who really can tell the difference between a 9.5 Mint Plus and a Gem Mint 10 when you don't have subgrades? I just don't like it. It's like PSA having 9, 9.5, 10, and 11. Right? It's like, no, you don't you don't do that. You don't have the pristine 10, the Gem Mint 10, the Mint Plus, the Mint. It's like, it's over it's like they're trying to make it more simple and at the same time making it more complicated. And I don't like that. So I'm not going to be using CGC probably to grade anything ever. Maybe that will change. But to be honest, I was looking forward to a change from them, but this is not the change that I was hoping for. Another thing, just kind of like anecdotally, I was hanging out with some people who are really into grading, not Magic cards, but Pokemon cards, right? These are like hardcore Pokemon people, and they graded a lot with CGC, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it finally happened. We're gonna be resubmitting all of our 9.5s, and we're gonna get them back as 10s." And I like these are my, don't get me wrong, like these are my friends, and they're cool people, they're good people, but it's just like I just don't like that like mindset. Like, oh great, now all my basic 9.5s are 10s. It's like, it's like you did what did you work for it? It doesn't feel earned. It feels like you're getting that extra, label, that like, that you're getting like that instant gratification, but is it really worth it? Does it really mean anything? Like, to me as a collector, your CGC Gem Mint 10, I'm not gonna look that. I'm not even gonna look at that as valuable as a Beckett 9.5 basic, because it probably isn't. Like literally, most likely, that's probably a basic 9.5 or worse in terms of Beckett's grading. So, but there's a whole lot of Pokemon people and sports card people who are dying to get their tens, and that's great. That's great for CGC, but I don't think they're going to be attracting a lot of people from the Magic community, and that might be like a strategic thing on their part, that they're trying to focus more on those markets. And if that's our plan, so be it. But this is a Magic channel. We love Magic, and that's what I'm going to talk about this, in terms of like the reference point that I have. So that's my thoughts on CGC changing to this new scale, combining with CSG cards, this whole like label redesign, subgrade thing. I think it's probably going to be detract from the number of submissions they get for Magic, and probably get them more concentrated into Pokemon, and maybe get their, them combining with CSG is going to get them more sports card volume. So hope it works out for them. In terms of Magic, we're 10, 11 minutes in here. The only people listening now are people who want to hear stuff about Magic and the market and diehards. And for everybody in that camp, times are pretty rough right now. I don't need to tell you that in terms of reserve list, vintage Magic. Yeah, prices have receded quite a bit. Not across the board. And honestly, like I've been saying for the last year or two, like, yeah, there's a lot of like the really speculative stuff that like got way inflated, that like 6, 12 months ago, I was on record saying like, who the hell is paying $400 for a singing tree from Arabian Nights? Like, some of these prices were just getting crazy. It's like I started stepping back a while before, and then the whole Magic 30 thing was just like the gas on the fire of everybody who was kind of hesitant to invest in the vintage reserve list Magic market. And since then it's been a pretty rocky road. But honestly, a lot of the graded stuff, the high grade stuff, the 9.5s, the quads, the PSA 10s, and the heavy hitter stuff, your Gaze Cradles, your Mox Diamonds, your Power 9. I mean, honestly, guys, that stuff, it's really not changing all that much. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of retracement here and there, but you're not going to get PSA 10 Mox Diamonds for, the same kind of retracement that something like, a Singing Tree from Arabian Nights. It was a $400 card, now it's a $200 card in like played condition. You're not going to get half off on a frickin' 9.5 Mox Sapphire. It's no. Those markets are they're in too good of hands to be affected by this, in my opinion, and based on what I've seen. I know it's been a little while since we did like a full like market update video, but I still watch the market like all of you. I see stuff that sells. I see what people are asking for, and I think that there's a lot of people who, if you are one of the people that in the last 3 to 5 years saved your money and you finally got that Mox, or you got that Ancestral Recall, or your Library of Alexandria, like an 8, 9, or 9.5 condition, you're not letting go of that for half off. It's not going to happen. Which is good. It's good to see that kind of stability and not see, like the paper hands folding like a lot of these, more speculative cards, these buyout cards, people who bought out stupid cards like Wood Elemental or whatever, dumb flavor of the week card was. Um, there is still very much a strong collector driven market for the high grade, kind of blue chip Magic the Gathering cards, and that's a good thing. Um, it's probably gonna be a while till things really pick up. I think it's just kind of like the overall economy and everything is not doing all that great. I know for myself personally, it's like I've still been buying stuff like here and there, but it's like I've had a lot of like life changes, and it's like you know I just had to I just spent $8,000 on freaking windows for my house. It's like, trust me, I would have much rather bought a BGS 9 Ancestral Recall or something. Like I would have loved to do that. But I got other stuff that I have to take care of with that kind of money. And so like for myself personally, it's probably going to be a little while till I can make those kinds of moves again, like I might have a year or two ago before a lot of these like life changes happened. But I still love it. I still love my collection. I still add to it here and there when I can. But things change, life changes. And I'm one of those people. Like, yeah, I could have very easily let go of this card, that card, and paid for those windows, with some power or something. But like, I'm not gonna do that. No way. I waited my whole life to have those cards. I'm not selling them now. Hell no. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people in that camp too. So if you are one of the diehards, if you've been collecting forever and you're really into the high grade stuff, take this time as an opportunity to pick up stuff for your collection at a discount. That's a little discount. Don't go bottom feeding and trying to lowball people and take advantage of people. There are some deals out there to be had. If you look on Facebook and eBay. But generally speaking, the market has actually been pretty stable. It has I think it's just kind of like that crazy crescendo, stopped, and it's just been kind of flat, wobbly for a while, and that's just kind of like an uneasy feeling after that like long period of euphoria of everything just going so crazy. Um, but it's normal. It's a normal cycle of the market. These things happen, and enjoy the ride and pick up some stuff at a little bit of a discount while you can. So that's all I got for today. It's nice to hop on it and do a video. I hope you're all doing well. If you're still sitting here watching me talk about graded Magic the Gathering cards, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate your subscription to this channel. It's the best way to support this channel with just a click of a button. All right, y'all. I'll see you later. Till next time, have a great one.